All right, we'll go ahead and get started with Nneka and Gabby. Open up any questions here in the room before we take the Zoom. Kareem, go ahead.
Yeah, Nneka, I know this is a quick turnaround to kind of be asking big picture questions, but you know, you guys make a lot of moves in the off season to bring you guys in. There was a lot of expectations. When you kind of look back at this first year, what are the things that are going to kind of stand out about this team and about this journey that you guys just had?
I mean, I think to be able to go from, one of the teams at the bottom of the barrel to this year, I think that means something. To be a part of that means something for me to be able to join forces with Sky and Joel and ultimately Gabby and Ezi and so many different people on this team. It felt good, It felt good knowing that there was a concerted effort to be better. And I'm glad that I'm happy with the decision that I made.
All right, let's go to Zoom. Percy, start us out. Jeff Brown, you'll be right after. Percy, go ahead.
For Abby, just what felt good for you tonight, and what does it take to win a playoff game on the road?
Obviously more than that. I think it takes 40 minutes, and it takes just everyone wanting to be on the court together. I think we had some disconnect tonight. Not saying we didn't want to be on the court together, but there was just some things that we weren't flowing on defense, on offense. I think we were just a little bit disconnected, and maybe it can be the fact that, I've only played 12 games with them, the fact that, and the fact that Ezi and Jewel were out and had to come back. There was just some disconnection that we had tonight, that Vegas, you can feel that they're very attached. And I think that's what it takes to win on the road is when you're on the court and you're playing against, 10,000 fans, all you have is each other. And I think between injuries, of course, me coming late, that played a big part into it.
And then for Nneka, just you guys, again, for the second straight game, you're up 65-64 early in the fourth quarter. You're right there. Did it feel like deja vu at all? And how did you feel about the way your team closed out this game as opposed to Sunday?
No, I didn't really feel like deja vu. I think that's kind of been our identity this whole season. We find ourselves in those challenging pockets, and we do what we can to gain some level of control or tempo of the game. I think that, how we finished the game tonight was, we fought, I think we fought. And no matter what, it's going to be a learning experience, that was the back-to-back champs. So you have to respect that, and especially in every single possession down to the wire.
There you go. Thank you, guys.
All right, Jeff Brown, go ahead.
Yeah, first for Nneka. Gabby kind of touched on it about the Aces kind of being there before and having that championship experience as a core together. Do you think that's the main difference as far as why they won this series versus you guys, or do you think the Storm need more than that?
I think it's a big difference. I think that when you look at the composition of their team, not only have they been playing together for a long time, they all have a lot of postseason experience. And when you get to the postseason, it's just a different level. And I think that's something people should pay attention to when they're watching this postseason, I come from a background of being in finals a couple of times, being in extended postseason play. And we have members of our team who can relate to that. But there's an intangible to the connectedness and the familiarity of being someone who knows what it feels like to be in these moments that they certainly have.
And for Gabby, you just finished this season so strongly. I think you finished maybe 8 games in a row with double figure scoring. It's the best that you've played through a long portion in the WNBA. Just can you kind of talk about your growth this season and your experience and how you've continued to improve?
Good. It's just being here with the staff and with this team. My teammates have been like so encouraging and have given me a lot of confidence since I've been here. I felt like I had a good thing going last year, but then obviously broke my foot. So, but I feel like I've had a good rhythm with Seattle for a while. Even my first year here, I felt like at the end it was starting to click at the right time, and then I got concussed. So I think a big part of it is just the people that I'm surrounded with while I'm here. Luckily I was able to stay healthy to the end of this season, and I think that played a big part into it, obviously, but they have a lot of confidence in me. They know me very well. They know what I need to get better. We have the resources that we need, obviously, with our practice facility for me to be in there all the time. So they spend a lot of time with me, and I think that helped.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies.
We're gonna take a question in the room and then we'll come back to the Zoom.
Gabby, Coach Quinn had a lot of positive things to say in regards to your work ethic and what you mean to this team. What did you see that you kind of identify with that drew you back to saying you wanted to be a part of this organization again, to join the special group?
Like I said, it's just like the confidence and the effort and the time that they put into myself personally. And obviously, you know, like I'm surrounded by great people. I'm surrounded by great teammates. Adding Nneka and Jewel has been huge, or Nneka and Skylar has been huge for me. Just having two legends, all-stars that are just always in my ear and have that much confidence in me. I think they don't realize how much that means and how much it lifts me up.
Back to Zoom, we'll go to Bella and then to Masvida. Bella, go ahead.
Hey guys, thinking a little bit about less of the technical basketball side, just wondering how you are feeling about the game as a whole, your personal performances, and sort of, you know, the season now being over, how everyone is feeling.
Like in terms of today's game?
Yeah, today's game, just how you're feeling about it. It's a disappointment, I assume, but I just sort of wanted to know how you're emotionally, mentally doing, if that makes sense. Did that help?
I mean, you know, our season's over, so like I don't really know what else to say. Like we lost, you know, we're done. I think that we wanted to play longer, you know, and you lost to the back-to-back champs. Like that's you got to come ready to go every single possession. So right now it doesn't feel great.
Like something I think we heard a lot about after New York lost in the final series last year was sort of them being motivated to come back this year and do better. Do you feel like this result gives you guys more motivation to come back and do even better next year?
Sure. I mean, we're not gonna have the same team next year, you know. I think there's a lot of variable and nuance to that. I don't really know what else to say about that, to be
I
honest.
think she has the answer written already.
Yeah. Well, I think we're always, I mean, me and Gabby are definitely motivated to keep going.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not done playing, that's for sure.
I'm definitely sad. I mean, I just got here. I'm sad that this is over because I've really enjoyed my time being here for sure. So
Yeah.
that's how I'm feeling.
Thank you guys. Sorry for the confusing questions.
Let's go to Masvida and then we'll wrap up with Nneka.
Okay. Hey, Nneka, I was just wondering if you could speak to the resiliency of the team and then just the overall growth you saw of this team from day one to now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of different moments that I can kind of think about when it comes to the build, you know, coming in and investing. I think that's the word that she likes to say, investing instead of sacrificing. And so, you know, our mantra was being dangerously disciplined, having competitive character. I saw a lot of good stuff when it came to that. I would say though, that I think that we can get more consistent with it. I know I could do more. I come in every day, I try to be a professional, I try to be a good vet, but I can do more. I always reflect and think about the things that I could do more of. And I think that everyone is kind of in that pocket right now, thinking about what they could do more of. But one thing I know for sure is that this staff held us accountable and is gonna continue to hold us accountable. So I look forward to seeing what that reflection and introspection feels like as we move forward.
And Gabby, you talked about it's a great landing place, but just how difficult is it just to, you come in 12 games, and I know you're going to be nice about it, but there has to be some adjustment you have to make. And how do you work that out and perform on the court?
You can say I'm being nice about it, but it's honestly, it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad. I'm just sad that I had a short amount of time here. Obviously, like, this isn't gonna happen again. The Olympics are never gonna happen in Paris again for the rest of our lives. So it's like a 1 in a million situation, but no, it really was easy. We added two new pieces, and for me, like, it's the same staff, it's the same people that I've known. 2 new pieces that are very easy to work with for me, so it really wasn't that bad. I mean, obviously, it took a couple of games for me to, like, find my role and what exactly the team needed from me, but once we got it going, it was fine.
Thank you both.
And last question to Nneka.
Thank you. Just a quick one about the game for Nneka. The Aces sprinkled in some late switches in the second half of game one. Felt like they leaned more into that in game two. From your perspective, how much do you feel like, if at all, that affected your offensive flow?
Oh, it did. I mean, they even did a box and one. I was like, I didn't even realize it was on me until after someone said something. Yeah, you know, that was clearly a part of the game plan. I was trying my best to figure out how to, find my pockets, but I was surrounded, and that's something that's difficult to be productive in. Hats off to them for sure.
All right, thank you.
Nneka, Gabby, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
All right, we got 10 minutes here with Coach. We're gonna start with questions here in the room, and then we'll take some questions on Zoom. Go ahead and get us started.
You talked the last couple days about the need to start fast and didn't quite happen today. What kind of got wonky in those early moments?
The aggressive level of Plum and Asia were very evident. The threes, they got loose in transition. I always say this, I would have to take a look at the film to see what we're doing offensively, but I just felt like we're a little bit on our heels defensively. But to cut into that lead and to eventually, we went up one, at one point. That says a lot about our resiliency, but our starts have been kind of our Achilles heel since the break. And as you can see, you can't spot a team like that 30 in a quarter.
Let's go to Zoom. Time for just 1 or 2 questions from everybody. Percy, go ahead and get us started, then we'll go to Jeff Brown.
Hey, Coach, it was 65-64 early in that fourth quarter for the second straight game. Just you often talk about like landing the plane. What things did you tell your team at that time, and why did you guys come up a bit short tonight?
It's heavy. I think there are things that we did well. We finally hit some threes. Very physical game. I think that rebounding hurt us. I think a couple of those possessions we were able to get stops, but then they got 1, 2 offensive rebounds, and those were kind of deflating. I thought that they went small ball, and I want to say that bothered us. They were super small 4 guards in Asia out there. That we're pretty locked into that, but even still, I think just again within those time frames, and then our one-on-one defense. What I remember, they went away from play calls and they just went isolation ball, and with that particular lineup, you have to guard your yard. And I felt like they put a lot of pressure on us to defend one-on-one, and they were successful in that area.
And then in the aftermath now,
I'm just playing.
Jeez, you're killing me. Hey, just in the aftermath, what's the severity of Jewel Lloyd's injury, and just what do you make of her performance in these playoffs?
I would have to get an update from our trainer. From what I know, she was okay to go, that she had been feeling good. Obviously she hadn't played in a few games, and some of that that flow, that rhythm that Jewel plays with, it wasn't necessarily there. To have a couple of practice days, we're thinking that we could get that rhythm, but to play the defending champs, you have to be sharp and healthy. And considering that injury came a week ago, a week and a half ago, probably some residue from that.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, let's go to Jeff Brown, and then after Jeff, we'll go to Christian.
Yeah, Coach. First, can you just talk about Gabby Williams' performance? She's been really strong closing out this season. I think like 8 straight games in double figures.
Amazing, 37 heartfelt minutes from her. She gave she finished empty, and she probably still has a lot of gas left in her tank. She played with so much confidence. She gave us such a big boost. A couple of tough finishes around the rim. What she did defensively, I thought she did a solid job on Jackie. And I thought, there was a level of intensity and pride that she was playing with that kind of willed us in those moments that we needed something. I'm so happy that she decided to come back with us and continue to put her mark on this league, which is something that I want her to feel good about on her WNBA journey. But we needed her badly, and she showed up big. She's shown up big since she's came back to us.
And in this series, you get swept, but you had the lead in the fourth quarter in both games, by small margins. What do you think kind of was the difference in not being able to get the wins?
So when we were at home, the zone was the issue. I feel like we were locked into the zone and they didn't go zone today as much. And today I felt like, and then even the other day when we were in a tight game, it became the same thing that I felt like it was today, attacking mismatches, the one-on-one, middle of the floor, tough shots, just being, willing themselves to be the superstars that they are. So, and then, coming down and not getting, great looks offensively, and kind of didn't stack good possession, scores together in those moments.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll go to Christian and Masvidal.
Hey, Coach, coming into this game, knowing that Ezi most likely wasn't going to be 100%, but still having her presence on the court, everything that went down in this game, it kind of felt like, again, the team was still right there when it needed to be. But it feels like the kind of effort level that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks wasn't really there when it needed to be as well. Just wonder, could you speak to that, and if you feel like that's kind of been a recurring issue and kind of just really the second half of the season as a whole?
Yeah, it showed up, I think, maybe in our start again. I don't like that it was a recurring theme, because effort should never be a theme. When you talk about playing in this league or this organization. So, I always take full accountability for anything that this team does that isn't up to par to where we need to be. And I felt like, there were players, I don't think it was everyone. I think it was it became a little bit contagious. I wanted the positive effort and all those things to become contagious, and we were just kind of tugging and pulling a little bit. But moving forward, the appreciation for putting on a Storm jersey has to come in the way in which you value the game, and that is how you show up and play. So I will be better. Our team will be better. Effort will never, ever be a thing for us again.
And you've seen quite a few seasons in your time as a head coach with Seattle now, and arguably this being your most successful season with the new group that you have and everything that's been going on, besides the year that you won a championship as assistant head coach. But you may not really want to hear the kind of big picture aspect, but this is kind of a great season because you won 11 games last year. So how do you kind of take this into the offseason knowing that, this is a great foundation to build off of and add to going into next year?
Yeah. Going from 11 wins to 25 in playoffs feels successful. I'm such a competitor though. I feel like I want more. I'm proud of our group. I'm proud of where we came from last season, and it hasn't been talked about a lot. So thank you for acknowledging that. But I don't need the acknowledgement. I'm just doing my job, and I'm on borrowed time. And so I realize the importance of not wasting moments. And I feel like, yeah, I know big picture, we had some success, but I think that this group could have done more. And I feel responsible for that. So we will continue to build. From an unintentional rebuild to 25 wins is something that, you know, we will be proud of, but I'm not satisfied.
Thank you.
We got about 1 minute left. We're gonna go to Masvita and then Alberto.
Yep. No, so yeah, this season you had a lot of different changes, a lot of moving parts, just in terms of growth. As a competitor, just how much you looking forward to keeping hopefully the core unit and building on all the things you talked about, all the intricacies.
Yeah, you know, you look at the teams who, like the Aces, honestly, because they're, you know, they're the ones that everyone has to beat. They built what they're doing with the experience and some time. They played together for a while. So to be able to keep core pieces is important when you're playing against the best of the best. And this group, as elite as we are, and you know, veteran as we are, we still hadn't had these reps together. So this playoff reps is going to be very valuable for the group moving forward.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And last question to Alberto.
Hi, Coach. So in terms of turnovers, I did see that y'all did really well. Had only 4 turnovers and forced 15. Can you talk about this defensive effort and who do you credit it more to?
Yeah, 5 turnovers is something that we haven't seen a lot this year. That was good to see from the group. I think that our defense sustained us the entire year. Our offense was the thing that was pretty inconsistent. I mean, our group has amazing defensive players. You know, you saw what putting Ezi back in there did, but you know, Sky on the ball, Gabby in the mix, like Nneka, like we have good pieces. Jordan, you know, this is our defensive lineup that did a lot for us this year. So I think the credit goes to them, their will to want to play defense, their one-on-one capabilities, their understanding concepts and covering things for each other, their communication. I think that they really, we really hung our hat on the defensive end this year.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time. We'll have players in here in just a moment.